name is Chanel, welcome to Spirited Stardust, and today I'm showing you the decks that I worked with this week. So, up first we have the Alchemists Garden Tarot. So I edged mine. It comes on a Saturn cardstock. So this one is a newer addition to my collection. But I pretty much knew straight away that I was definitely going to be keeping this because the write-ups in the guidebook are just so amazing. Oh no, did I wreck my card with something? Gosh darn it. The devil as well. Damn it. I already pretty much knew I was going to keep this. I love the floral, the flora in it, the choices that they've made for each of the cards and the suits. I just think it was great selections. Like I said, great write-up, informative, and it reads well for me, and it's a bit more of a in-depth deck. It's something if I want something that's really unique, like a different voice, a different viewpoint, something just way out of left field, I'll go for this deck because it's really just, it does veer away from the standard like Rider-Waite-Smith sort of meanings for cards. It's just got its own personality and I really enjoy it. And yeah, so I thoroughly enjoyed working with this tarot deck this week. I'll do a spread at the end so you can see how all of these decks play together and how they sound. But yeah, this is a winner for me, and it's definitely cemented its place in my collection. And we'll go to the next one. So the next one that I've chosen to work with is the, oops, sorry guys, Seasons of the Witch, Beltane. So I've barely had any time with this. It's got that really high gloss. Look, mine have already chipped. I hate that high gloss, I really do. And it's glossy cardstock too, which I'm also not a fan of. And I think that's probably glaring, but there's nothing much I can do about that because I need the light. So this came at a time, like I said, right at the beginning of my tarot journey when I was buying all the decks. So I did not work with it. I think I did one spread and then I put it away. It was just too many decks at once. And now I'm at the process where I'm like, okay, now let's go through what we have and determine what stays and what goes. So I'm going to be honest, I wasn't sure about this one because I don't like the cardstock. I'm not a huge fan of the artwork. The theme's cool. I hate the sharp gilding on the edges. So I wasn't sure, but I really enjoyed it. It's read really well. It's made me laugh sometimes. I'm like, oh, you're calling me out. It's that sort of like energy to it. I like the guidebook. I think it's well written. I like the themes of the cards, the messages. So yeah, I was surprised. I'm like, actually, no, I'm definitely going to keep this deck. I was uncertain. I get this one a lot. But now I'm not uncertain. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm definitely keeping it. So I've enjoyed working with it and enjoyed the messages, and was quite pleasantly surprised by Seasons of the Witch Beltane. I have absolutely no desire to get any of the other Seasons of the Witch ones. They just don't appeal to me. This was the only one that did. I do have a thing for bees, guys. I love my little busy bees. Okay, next up, oh, I've just tumbled my leaves. Let's get you out of your little nest. And it's The Angels and Ancestors by Carl Gray. So these are matte cardstock. I edged mine in like a copper. They're that thicker, like cardboard style cardstock. Okay, so this is another one I was like very unsure about. This was a random purchase from like a metaphysical shop. I just was like, oh, I went in there to have a browse one day because it was next to a yarn shop when I'd gone to buy some yarn. And I'm like, just buy one deck. I don't do that anymore. But at that time I was like, let's get a deck that you probably, you know, wouldn't have thought to get. And I think I'd just seen a video by Boho Tarot on this. So I think that swayed my choice because she really liked it. It's not something I would have picked at all personally. Like the illustrations aren't my thing. The theme really isn't my thing, even though I do like angels and ancestors, obviously. I already have sort of decks that cater to both of those realms. But I purchased it. I have barely used it. I'll admit it's just not something I'm drawn to. And I'm going to be honest, I'm still undecided. I'd get a stalker card a lot in this deck. That stalker card is Jesus, the great teacher. Sometimes I find that if I continue to keep just getting the same card, that's a way for the deck to tell me we're not for you. Pass this on to somebody else. Because I haven't worked with it enough, like yes, I've worked with it this week, but it's going in the purgatory. Like I don't hate it. There have been a few good messages, I will admit, and I did read for my brother the other day, and the message was just bang on, to the point where I got chills. You know when you get chills? There he goes, there's my stalker card. Look, if you're going to be stalked, being stalked by Jesus ain't the worst thing, is it? No. And that's, I'm going to be honest, like just how poignant that message was for him made me think, maybe I'll just keep giving it another chance, or maybe I might try. I love that it's got Aboriginal representation. Maybe I'll give it another chance and maybe try work with it in a different way. Maybe I'm not working with it in the right way, if you know what I mean. But it's definitely in the purgatory bin. I think especially too because I know someone else who I think will really think it's rad. So I'm like, it definitely will have a home. But yeah, I think I need to do, I love the Raven, do some more work with it and then decide. But I don't love it. And I did promise myself that I wasn't going to keep any decks that I was just like not excited by. Like I get a little girlish glee when I pull out all the other decks, and that one I'm just like, I'm a bit meh about it. And the last deck, I've decided to only work with 4 decks this week because I got a bit overwhelmed last week, but I think I'll go back up to 5 next week. So this is Oracle of Shadows and Light by Lucy Cavendish. Now, this is a satin cardstock, quite thick, typical of, I think it's Blue Angel. Yeah, it's that typical Blue Angel stuff that you get. Okay, so I was totally not interested in Lucy Cavendish's stuff before because of the artwork, because of Jasmine Beckett Griffith's artwork. I just really was like, that just reminds me of all of my kids' favorite shows. But then my mum lent me her decks so I could do some walkthroughs with her decks, and she had a ton of Lucy Cavendish with Jasmine Beckett Griffith, and I fell in love with the way that Lucy writes. I really liked the themes of the cards, the messages, and then because of that, the artwork grew on me. It's one of those weird things. So out of all the decks that she had, Shadows and Light was the one that I liked the most. It includes my daughter's like names in it, and I think that's why as well. I was like, oh, that's my daughter's name. Oh, that's my other daughter's name. So that was a deciding factor. And even though I haven't worked with it, as soon as I brought out this week, I was just so excited to hear. I love that one. It's my number. I was so excited to hear the message. This was the one out of all the cards I worked with this week that I was like, just, yeah, the most excited to hear the message of and to read the guidebook for. So this is absolutely staying in my collection. And yeah, it's just bizarre. Now I like the artwork, whereas I didn't like it before. But now I have like an association with it, with the wonderful messages. And so I'm like, yeah, it's rad. But yeah, this was Oracles of Shadows and Light, which is definitely a keeper. That's a keeper. So I will now go on to a spread. We'll do a spread with them. Just let me set up 1 second. Okay, so I'm doing this Sun, Moon and Stars spread. So in my Sun position, how can I bring brighter days into my life? I got Fae. I'll read from it in a second. For Moon, what beauty is being reflected that I cannot see? I got 2 little witches, magical space clearing time. Stars, what is my wish? Arrow, surround yourself with protective energy. And Future, what does the universe have in store for me? And I got Temperance with Camellia sinensis tea. So I will read through them. So in terms of Sun, how can I bring brighter days into my life? Fae, and it says, not everything is as it may seem. Be cautious, dear one, for there is a story beneath the tale. Misunderstandings. I'll just move this down so I can lift the cards up. The standard operating procedure for fairies is to be mischievous, devious, and playful to a fault, and for this reason they are often misunderstood. To them, they are simply living their lives as they always have, and doing what is natural for who and what they are. You have pulled Fae because there has been a misunderstanding in your situation. Perhaps a miscommunication has occurred, or someone is failing to see your point of view. Everyone has a different standard operating procedure, but different doesn't always mean wrong. Consider how you can be more compassionate for the people involved in this situation. You don't have to agree, but making space for the opinions of others can and often does diffuse tense situations. You'll be surprised what you can learn by being a better listener, and may even find that all involved have been chasing the same thing the whole time, but just in a different way. The same is true if you're experiencing an internal struggle. Give any emotions you are experiencing time for expression. So the next one that I'll read is the moon. What beauty is being reflected in what I cannot see? And I have to move these out the way. And I got two little witches, make space for magical clearing. From out of the shadows came two little witches, solemn and sincere. They fix you with their green and blue gaze, ready for you for the magic that is the broom they are about to pass on to you. And what is the magical secret of this broom? Why that it can sweep clear any old stale energy that be lurking about you at the moment. Take this broom and see it whisk all by itself, once, twice, 3 times, widdershins around your house, your hearth, your home, and it will clear out of the doorway all that is hiding in the shadows of the corners and underneath all the rooms of your soul and home. Widdershins is the traditional direction for clearing energy. It means against the sun, and in the northern hemisphere to go widdershins is to direct the energy in an anti-clockwise direction. In the southern hemisphere, it is direct energy clockwise. When it is done, they clap their hands 3 times and the broom returns to their arms and they move on to the next home that needs their help. But now that is done, you will fill your space and your life with. That is the greatest and trickiest choice of all, but one which only you can make. Out, out, and from within, we cleanse this space from trouble and din. Out, out, let all be gone, and make this place a cheerful home. We're here to cleanse and clean. We are creatures in between. We will work from dusk till dawn to ensure energy is reborn. We leave it clear and bright and blank, and for this task we ask no thanks. But we do wish you well in this. May all be brought in to create your bliss. Make the mundane work for you. It's time to conduct a house clearing, followed by a house blessing. There's some easy pointers. New locations. Either the smallest of changes for household objects or rearrangements of what goes where in the office, or an entire move is very much on your mind when these 2 twin wishes show up with their brooms of power. If there's anything keeping you back from making that change, please make small, useful and symbolic gestures. Shift the furniture and clear away what you no longer need. Whenever we make a change, we always rediscover stuff we've been hanging on to, stuff that's weighed us down without even our realizing it was there. Time for a space clear for you. So that was that one. To be honest, I've been feeling the need to do that. Stars, what is my wish? And for that one, I got arrow. Surround yourself with positive energy. I'll just find that. Surround yourself with positive energy and people and experiences and environments that make you feel safe. Call on your angels, guides, and ancestors to bring you protection. Arrows have long been revered as symbols of protection, as many native peoples would use the bow and arrow as a weapon of defense. When an arrow appears in meditation or dreams or an oracle reading, it's a sign you need to protect yourself and what is important to you, because not everyone has the same intentions as you do. This doesn't mean that people are intentionally wanting to hurt you, but they could be careless in their choices and actions, and this could affect you. There are energies around you that could lower your vibration, and it's important you become aware of them and aren't brought down by them. If you are in a situation where you feel that not everything is as clear as it seems, trust your intuition. There are energies in your current situation that aren't fully aligned with your intentions and goals or with kindness. Follow your intuition about whom to trust and what to trust. If you can take time to retreat or to step out of this situation to assess what is going on, what is going to be beneficial for you, do so. In any event, this is a time to call on the energy of protection and to place yourself in a space that feels safe. Okay, and then I've got, what does the future have in store for me? And I got Temperance with tea. So I'll just find Temperance. There it is. Compromise, flow, cooperation. As you sip from your cup, you grow warmer and more content. This is a message of peaceful balance. Assure yourself that you drink from the chalice of moderation and have found a calm space to serve from. If you are centered in yourself and bear witness without reaction, life tends to flow more gently and you are able to serve others more clearly. If a dispute emerges, ensure you infuse your response with compassion. There's no need to soak in others' negativity. Following this, you can both take and receive more from the situation. Sorry, guys. If you want to get the best out of the circumstances, make sure you aren't just a good talker, but also a good listener. A valuable exchange is a dialogue, not a monologue. The art of conversation isn't just to say the right thing at the right time, but to leave unsaid the wrong thing when it tempts. As a sign of maturation, deep purpose and meaning is found in friendly chat. Blend your own essential wisdom when expressing something difficult. Be brave enough to stimulate conversation about important things. There is an art to good communication, but nothing compares to authenticity. Stir your sentences with careful consideration, and be sure to taste your words before you pour them out. There is plenty of time. The ubiquitous tea plant flourishes in tropical regions and is picked exclusively by hand. Before it was a social beverage, tea was used exclusively as a medicine. As well as caffeine, tea contains mild stimulants, theophylline and theobromine. Another constituent is L-theanine, which alters the alpha waves of the brain, helping extend periods of mental concentration. So those are the cards that I picked for that spread. I felt like they definitely had overlapping themes. And I thought overall they worked well together. So that's everything this week. I hope you're having a spectacular morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are. And as always, stay wild, Star Child.